Thank you very much. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, then enjoy your Sunday feast. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Tharine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank all of you for coming here today evening, and I will speak on the topic of nourishing our lives with the Bhagavad-gita. The Bhagavad-gita is an ancient spiritual book spoken thousands of years ago as a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And this book has been read and commented on and meditated by millions for millennia. And what is the book about? And how can it nourish us? When we use the word nourish, normally we say food nourishes us. We need a proper, if there is a small child who is growing up, the children need an encouraging, loving environment to grow up. So if we are gardening, and the garden needs a supportive environment again to grow up in. So nourishment means that which enables us to grow, that which fulfills our need and enables us to grow. So what need does the Bhagavad Gita fulfill? Actually, in today's world, our needs and even our comforts are in many ways fulfilled much more than in the past. Luxuries that were unimaginable for most people a few thousand years ago, say such as air conditioning, such as mobile communication, these even royalty could not have. They're commonplace today. And despite having such extraordinary comfort at the physical level, still there seems to be enormous amount of distress at the mental level. The most extreme example of distress at the mental level is suicide, where people end their own lives. There is something inside us, there is a voice that goes on inside our head. And sometimes, if some people say that, oh, I hear a voice inside my head, then we may say that, is that person crazy? You want to get them to a doctor and have them treated. But actually there is a voice inside the head of all of us, and not just a voice, many voices. And when this voice can sometimes start hurting us. That voice can replay negative stimuli. This is terrible, that is terrible, that is terrible. Why did this happen? Why did this person do like that? How unfair life is. And as this negative voice starts speaking, we start becoming more and more agitated. We become disconnected from the world because of this negative voice inside us. And somehow this voice inside us has become stronger and stronger. because of which the inner distress has increased. The World Health Organization statistics say that 1 million people commit suicide every year. And that means one suicide every 40 seconds. So since I started this talk, about 8 people have committed suicide already. Scary. And I just came from America, and there's a lot of concern there that there are guns easily available and people shoot innocent students, especially in schools. It's a serious concern. But far more than number of people who are killed by crazy people with guns are the number of people who are killing themselves. But the number of people killing themselves every year is actually more than the number of people killed in murders and wars combined together. So more than the number of people killing others are the number of people killing themselves. And of course, suicide is just an extreme expression of the mind attacking the body. There are many lesser expressions also where people break down, people have anxiety attacks, people have depression. So we are physically comfortable, but we are mentally distressed. So we could say in today's society, people are comfortably unhappy. We are comfortably unhappy. So what is the cause of this? Is there some need that is not being fulfilled? The Bhagavad-gita begins on a battlefield. This battle is about to be fought against invaders who have been atrocious, who have tried to dishonor Arjuna's wife publicly. They tried dispossess their kingdom. They tried to burn them. They tried to kill them, poison them. And the Pandavas have tried every possible way to resolve the issue peacefully, but they're not able to resolve it. The opposite party is just not ready for any understanding. So at that time, the Pandavas have to fight. Arjuna is the leader of the Pandavas. He's one of the prominent warriors among the Pandavas. They have to fight. But at that time, Arjuna starts thinking, how can I fight? These are my relatives. And he asks a question. That he just puts aside his bow. Visrujya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasaha. Puts aside his bow and he says, how can I fight? And as he starts thinking, if I fight, I kill my relatives, that's a loss for me. If I don't fight, they will kill me. That's also a loss. So what should I do? And then he tells Krishna, please tell me, what am I meant to do? Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Please tell me what is dharma. The word dharma has a profound meaning. Dharma is that which nourishes us, that which sustains us. The implied understanding is that there is an order to the universe. And to the extent we understand the order and harmonize with that order, to that extent our life is nourished. So if we are traveling in a plane, now while traveling in a plane, tomorrow I'll go to India, and I'll be concerned that whether I've got my passport or not, I've got my ticket or not. But I won't worry, is the plane having adequate fuel or not? I won't worry if the pilot is drunk. Why? There is a higher plan over there. There is a higher plan, there's a bigger organization which takes care of that. Now we have to play our part. And we take care of our part, and the whole will take care of the whole. Now, when we go into a plane, and instead of going to the pilot's seat, we go into the cockpit and say, I want to drive. Now, that will not be allowed. So in the broader system, what are we meant to do? A very deep-rooted human need is a need for purpose. What am I meant to do in my life? Now, this need is not felt immediately because we have immediate needs. We have need for food, we have need for clothing, we have need for shelter. However, there is a difference between what we live with and what we live for. What we live with are the necessities of life. Just like when a car is being driven, the car needs fuel. So we drive with fuel. But we don't drive for the purpose of getting fuel. Occasionally we drive for that. But the purpose of the car is not just to get fuel. So what we live with is not what we live for. The necessities of life are not the purpose of life. The necessities of life are required, but they alone do not make for a fulfilling life. If life does not have a purpose, the necessities may be abundantly there, but they will not lead to any fulfillment. Many times when people commit suicide, it's not that they are lacking in necessities. It's curious that even people in very great poverty, often they fight for life. But sometimes people with great comfort and wealth, they end their life. So when people become suicidal or people become mentally distressed, is that they lose their purpose of life. Either they never had a purpose for life, or they had set up some purpose and they lost that purpose. So for all of us, Arjuna actually represents all of us in the Bhagavad-gita. And when he's a warrior, he's about to fight, his bow upraised, but he puts aside his bow. I can't fight. So his upraised bow represents our determination, our enthusiasm. Most of us don't have to fight physical battles, but still, in many ways, we have to fight. We live in a competitive society. We fight for our jobs. We have to fight for space. We have to fight for our needs. Ultimately, we have to fight against our mind, which is distracting us in 100 directions all the time. So Arjuna, when he puts aside his bow, that similarly represents we lose our morale. When Arjuna asks, Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta, please tell me what is dharma. What it means is, what am I meant to live for? What is the purpose of life? So all of us have a certain sense of the purpose of life. But sometimes life brings us to a situation where that purpose seems to be permanently thwarted. If somebody's purpose in life is to become an athlete, and then they suffer a grievous injury by which they can no longer be an athlete, then they don't know, what am I meant to live for? Nachishaknomyavasthatum brahmati vachame manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. So in leadership language it's called, Arjuna says that whatever option I see, it leads only to distress. So it's like he was in a lose-lose situation. Whatever I do, it doesn't work. And at that time, on the battlefield, Krishna and Arjuna discuss what is the purpose of life. The setting, the Bhagavad-gita is not a book that calls for violence. It is a book in a battlefield setting meant to drive home the substance that this philosophical discussion is not just some abstract discussion for armchair speculators. It's right in the middle of action. If this question is not answered, what am I meant to live for? A person can become empowered. So just as our body needs food, our life needs purpose. And the Bhagavad-gita nourishes us with that knowledge of purpose. So the setting is meant to dramatically draw attention. Suppose there is a cricket World Cup final. Today, the IPL finalists, they're going on in India. So suppose there is some big tournament finalists there. and there are thousands of people in the stadium, millions watching all over the world, and the toss is done, the fielders are in place, and the bowler is in the run-up about to bowl. At that time, the batsman calls the non-striker, and the two start talking, and they keep talking, and they keep talking, and they just keep talking. Everybody will wonder, what is so important? Come on, play the match now. You can talk later. Sometimes, some players, if the match is going against them, they may try to slow down the tempo so that they can regain some ground. So that's gamesmanship. That's not good. But if these players are not known to be using those kind of underhanded techniques, then everybody will want to know what is so important that in the middle of the cricket field, while keeping everyone else waiting, you want to talk about this. So similarly, the Bhagavad-gita is in such a dramatic setting. All the warriors are arrayed, the war is about to begin, and everybody stops. At that time, they were honorable warriors. So they saw the discussion going on. So they all stopped and waited. So so the knowledge of purpose is vital. And sometimes when we are going through the routine course of our life, we may not feel it that important. Yes, I have a job, I have a family, I have this thing to do, I have that thing to do. We stay occupied. But sometimes this occupation, staying busy, might just be a way of distracting ourselves from the emptiness and the purposelessness of life. Actually, who do you think today are the most paid professionals? Which group of people are paid the most?
Footballers.
Footballers, yeah. Sportsmen, yeah, that's true. I agree with you. I mean, bankers is right, but footballers, sportsmen, they fall in a broad category. What do they belong to? What are they doing actually? They're playing sports, but what are they offering us? Entertainment, isn't it? Entertainers are probably the most paid professionals, isn't it? This cricket tournament is going on in India now, the Indian Premier League. The amount of money that is spent on this, these players in 50 days, they earn more than what most people earn in 50 years. And the amount of money spent in this cricket is actually more than the amount of money that is needed to feed all the starving people of India in one tournament. So, if entertainers are being paid so much, as you said, football, a doctor who can cure a foot earns barely 1/10 of somebody who can kick a ball with a foot. So why are entertainers being paid so much? Entertainment has always been a part of human society. But the obsession with entertainment, which is there today, is unprecedented. When we say entertainers are being paid so much, where is that money coming from? That is from the people who are being entertained. They are ready to pay that. Okay, now that means what we value or what we pay for reflects what we consider important. So that means if people are ready to pay so much money for being entertained, that means they consider entertainment such a vital need. Now, entertainment, whose need is it? Is it a physical need? At a physical level, playing sports might be better than watching sports, isn't it? But then whose need is it? It's a mind's need. And you could say, yes, life becomes burdensome, I need a break, let me be entertained. But for many people, actually they live in such a way that life is a break from entertainment. Not that entertainment is a break from life. That means the real thing to do in life is, okay, turn on your phones, turn on your TVs, watch sports, surf on the net. And in between, talk with people, do your family responsibilities, take care of your job, and then come back. This is the real thing in life. So why does this happen? Now, entertainment, if you see, when people go to watch a movie, say they go in a theater. Now in a theater, they go to watch a movie. Most people take something like popcorn, something to eat. Now in entertainment, what is the nature of the pleasure? The pleasure is by projection. We think, oh, this is my team which is winning. If a hero and heroine are doing something romantic, hugging each other, this audience thinks, oh, if I was there, I would enjoy so much. So it's vicarious pleasure which we get. So now it is by projection or imagination, projection of our imagination into the movie theater. But in reality, we're not getting anything. That's why when people go to the movie theaters, they often have some popcorn or something to eat. Everything is imaginary. Something has to be real. Something has to be real. So basically, entertainment as a break from life is fine. But when life becomes a break from entertainment, when entertainment becomes what people look forward to and live for, then that entertainment is actually being used for something else, not just as a break from life, but it is being used to numb oneself to the pointlessness of life, to deaden oneself to the emptiness of life. So actually, this frenzy, entertainment is not bad. Entertainers may also not bad. Talented people work very hard. But the way people use entertainment, it is to numb oneself to the deeper emptiness in life, to the pointlessness. What am I living for? What is my life meant for? So actually, entertainment is a poor substitute for enlightenment. Enlightenment is not just some abstract conception where we see some light. Enlightenment essentially means we understand our purpose in life. So our inner need is that we need some purpose in life. And when we don't get that purpose, then we try to substitute that with anything that offers some stimulation. Something that offers stimulation by which I can forget the emptiness of life. So we could say, if a person is sick, then, and if they're sick and they're in pain, at that time, they need some medicine that will cure them, a curative medicine, and they may also need some pain medicine to manage the pain. So in our life, entertainment is like the pain medicine, whereas enlightenment is the curative medicine. Enlightenment is what helps us to understand what is the ultimate purpose of life. But if the pain medicine is used not as a complement to the curative medicine, if it is used as a replacement to the curative medicine, then the result is that the patient's disease worsens and worsens internally. And although they feel, I feel good, but internally the disease is worsening, and that's why after some time that pain medicine stops working. And then you need more intense dose of pain medicines. And if that also stops working, then even more intense dose of pain medicines, higher doses of painkillers. And we see, isn't that what is happening with entertainment? A few years ago, entertainment, a few decades ago, entertainment means maybe one hero fighting with a few villains. Now entertainment means, you have cosmic wars. A big building is blown up. That was fun. If we see in cricket, 5-day matches. Then we had 1-day matches. 1-day match also, the dosage of painkiller is not enough. You want more excitement. So then we had T20 matches. And then even that is not enough. Then we had the IPL. You get people from different countries come together. And then we played all together. So basically, we are increasing the dosage of painkillers. And sometimes people say, oh, now we have 100 channels, we have thousands of websites. In the past, people didn't have anything. How bored they must have been. Actually, it is despite we having so much, still we are bored. So basically, entertainment is like a painkiller. And it doesn't work in the long run. We all need enlightenment. And that enlightenment is, the Bhagavad-gita begins by explaining the enlightenment in the three parts. First is that we have an aspect to us which goes beyond our biology. Our essential identity goes beyond our biology. There is a non-material, indestructible side to us. That is known as the Atma, the soul. And this can be understood by simple inference. All of us want to live forever. Even people who want to commit suicide, it's not that they want to die. It's just that they feel my life is so painful, they think death will be less painful. But all of us, we want to live and live forever. Most movies, most novels are about romance. And most romantic movies and novels, they end with HEA, happily ever after. So the idea is ever after. I want to live forever and I want to love forever. Now, where does this longing to live forever come from? If you consider the world around us, nothing lasts forever. I was in New York just a few months ago. There was twin towers with it, huge. And when they fell, it was not just the fall of the towers, it was the fall of what they represented. The promise of security and prosperity. So, but that huge tower is also not permanent. Huge mountains are also not permanent. Nothing in the world around us lasts forever. So, everything around us is material and nothing material lasts forever. If we were simply material creatures, why would we have this longing to live forever? Where would it come from? If there's a child living in some remote tribe in Africa, unconnected from the whole world, and one day the child goes to his mother and says, Mom, I want a pizza. The first question the mother will ask, what will she ask?
What's a pizza?
Yeah, what's a pizza? Or even if she knows, she will ask, how do you know about a pizza? Isn't it? There is nothing in her environment, in their environment, which can give them knowledge about a pizza. So similarly, if all of us, there is nothing in the world around us which lasts forever. And yet we have a desire to live forever. Where does this desire come from? That desire comes from something beyond matter. So the Bhagavad-gita explains that we at our core are souls. The soul is eternal. And not knowing that we are souls, we are now trying to eternalize our physical life. The soul is in a particular body, just as a person may be in a car. So the soul is eternal, the body is temporary, but we are now seeking eternal life at the level of the soul. So in understanding life's purpose, the first step is to understand, who am I? And that question of identity takes us to our spirituality. The second step is that, okay, I understand my identity. Now, what is this whole world about? What am I meant to do in this world? So the Gita describes that the soul is a part of the whole. The whole existence is interconnected. And the interconnectedness is through a personal bond of love. The Gita explains that we are finite consciousness and there is an infinite consciousness. This infinite consciousness is understood in different ways in different traditions of the world. The Bhagavad-gita reveals this infinite consciousness to be an all-attractive supreme person by the name Krishna. And we want, as I said, we want to live forever and love forever. So we are meant to love the infinite. We are meant to love Krishna. And we are meant to love everyone in relationship with Krishna. So our life's ultimate purpose is love. Is to offer love and to receive love. And of course, we all understand that we want to become wealthy, we want to look good, we want to have power, so that we hope that someone will love us. We'll become lovable enough in someone's eyes. But when we are seeking love, we are seeking it at a horizontal level with people in this world. However, our life is temporary, their life is temporary. That's why this cannot lead to lasting love. So yes, these relationships are important, but our longing for lasting love is filled at the vertical level, fulfilled when we connect with Krishna. And the process for connecting with Krishna is called as bhakti-yoga. It is a yoga of devotion. Yoga is not just about physical exercises. They're important to maintain health. But say there is a batsman. You often use the word yoga postures. Yoga postures. In batting, different batsmen have different postures. Some batsmen may stand with their bat raised up, some with their legs spread apart, some with their bat right on the ground. Now, the purpose of postures is not just to make a style statement. The purpose of the postures is that when the ball comes, hit the ball as forcefully and as far as possible. Similarly, the yoga postures are meant for a purpose. That purpose is to raise our consciousness, raise our consciousness upwards towards the spiritual level. At the spiritual level, we connect with the Supreme. We connect with Krishna. And He is all attractive. He is the ocean of all love. And connecting with Him, there is supreme happiness. So, our purpose is to offer love and to receive love. And the Gita offers us a vision of a love that transcends all limitations. We can offer this love in various ways. We can see our family members as parts of God, and we love them in a mode of service to Krishna. We can see our profession also as a gift from God. The talents that we have, we didn't create those, we didn't engineer those talents when we were in our mother's womb. We just got them. So those are gifts from God, and they are meant to be used to make a contribution in a mode of service to God. And we can also directly connect with Him through the practice of bhakti. By this practice, when we understand that this is the ultimate purpose of my life, whatever I do it in the mood of loving service. Loving service to my Lord and to everyone in the relationship with my Lord. That gives us an indefatigable purpose. Imagine a river which is flowing towards an ocean. And many rivers have tributaries or channels. The water flows. Sometimes if there is a lot of rocks or stone or islands, some water flows here, some water flows here, some water flows here. It keeps moving towards the ocean. So similarly for us, Krishna is like the ocean. And our heart's emotion is meant to flow towards Him. And there are different channels. In life, we all set some intermediate purposes. I want to get this job. I want to develop this relationship. I want to do this thing, that thing. These are fine as intermediate purposes. But we need an ultimate purpose. And if we have this ultimate purpose, then even if some intermediate purpose is thwarted, it doesn't matter that much. We will move forwards. This channel gets blocked. Okay, let the water move forward through this. This gets blocked. Let the water move forward through this. This gets blocked. Let the water move forward through this. So we will be able to move forwards in our life no matter what happens. If we take shelter of Krishna, if we direct our heart's emotions towards Krishna. And that is, the Gita says, life's ultimate purpose. I'll conclude with one story. I've been traveling all over the world for a few years now. The first year when I went to America, I went to a college and I was speaking there on the topic of regulating our mental diet. So after the talk, one American student came and told me that just before this class, I was contemplating suicide. Said he had been in a relationship with a girl and she had broken up with him. So he said, I'm walking along gloomily through the campus. I saw the notice of this. I saw a notice poster about this of my program. So something within me said, just go and attend this program. He said, when he came, he said, now I understand. It is not I who want to commit suicide. It is my mind. Just acting as my enemy, telling me, commit suicide, commit suicide. So I told him, this is a precious insight which you got from this class. And I encourage him to study the Bhagavad-gita, which helps us to differentiate between us and our mind. And I encouraged him to connect with the bhakti-yoga club that was there in the college. I also write daily on the Bhagavad-gita, a small blog at geetadaily.com. So I encouraged him to read that whenever he could. And then every year when I go to America, I would meet him. Last year when I was there, he told me he faced a similar situation. Like he had been in another steady relationship and that girl had just broken up with him again. So he said, as soon as he got her text, he says, I'm breaking up, don't try to contact me, I'm going to block you now. So he just felt completely like a fog inside him. Just went straight to his room. And straight to his room, he closed the door, pulled down the drapes, shut the windows, turned off the lights. And he had been practicing bhakti-yoga for some time. So something within him suddenly said. And he liked to sing. So he had a violin with him. He picked up the violin and he started singing Hare Krishna. And he told me he sang Hare Krishna continuously for 6 hours. Pouring out his heart, calling out to Krishna. And he said, I experienced myself being bathed in some sublime light, being comforted by a supreme loving presence. He said, I experienced Krishna at that time. The same time, same moment, which would normally have been very depressing, became one of the most enriching moments of his life. And he got the experience because he, through the Bhagavad-gita, his inner need, one need was a relationship. But a deeper need was the need for enduring connection. He understood he had subconsciously percolated within him. He's meant to connect with Krishna. And this purpose was thwarted. That did cause frustration. But the purpose of connecting with Krishna was still there. And that purpose enabled him to move on. So when we talk about the Bhagavad-gita nourishing our life, it is not just in a psychological or spiritual sense. Sometimes when physically it can save our life. And not only it can save our life physically, but it can also save our life by infusing it with the ultimate purpose. At the end, after hearing the Gita, Arjuna picked up his bow in readiness to fight. So his bow represents our determination. By hearing the message of the Gita, by understanding that we have an ultimate purpose, we're meant to love and be loved. And that love cannot be thwarted by anything material. That infuses us to again rise and to march forward through our life's difficulties towards the fulfillment of eternal love. So that is the gift that the Bhagavad-gita can offer each one of us if we enrich ourselves with its wisdom. I'll summarize what I spoke. I spoke on nourishing our lives with the Bhagavad-gita. I started by talking how the Bhagavad-gita is spoken on a battlefield setting, and that dramatic setting it's not a call for war physically for everyone. It is meant to dramatically illustrate the need for a purpose in life. Arjuna asks, what am I meant to do? Dharma. Like on a cricket field, just before a World Cup final is about to start, striker and non-striker start talking. It'll rivet everyone's attention. So this need for purpose is vital. We have necessities of life. What we live with is not what we live for. In today's world, we have physical needs and physical luxuries far better than in the past. And yet we have distress because we have lost sense of purpose. And this purposelessness we can rectify by enlightenment, by getting a holistic understanding of life. But instead, society and culture offer us entertainment. And that simply numbs us. So because this inner need of purpose is so strong and not having it fulfilled is such a great vacuum within us that we try more and more entertainment to somehow numb that need. So for our life, enlightenment is the curative medicine. Entertainment is like the pain medicine. And the pain medicine cannot replace the curative medicine. Entertainment can't replace enlightenment. And what does enlightenment mean? Means first of all, it is understanding our spirituality. We all desire to live forever and love forever. Everything around us is temporary. This desire to live forever, where does it come from? Like an African child who wants to know about pizza, our desire is out of place because there is a part of us which does not belong to this place. That is the soul. The soul is eternal and it longs for eternal love towards an eternal object of love. That object is the infinite consciousness, that is Krishna. And bhakti yoga is the process by which we can connect our consciousness with him. Life's ultimate purpose is eternal love. To offer our love to the infinite and to relish that infinite love for us. And that is inclusive. We can do it through direct bhakti yoga activities. We can do it through our job. We can do it through our families. In every way, we can permeate our life with love. So all these are like channels in the river for our consciousness to flow towards Krishna. And then I concluded by talking about this boy whose life was saved when the purpose of establishing a horizontal relationship was thwarted. Whereas earlier he had become suicidal, now he became more spiritual. He intensified his vertical relationship. And that which is a depressing experience became transformed into an enriching experience. Just as Arjuna picked up his bow in readiness to fight by understanding the message of eternal love, similarly, we all can become enthused and determined by understanding and internalizing this purpose of enduring love. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments?
Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Thank you. You have a question?
When we feel disconnected to love, what should we do?
Okay. So when we feel disconnected from love, at that time, what do we do? The word love has multiple meanings. Now, love can refer to one person may say, you don't love me. That means love is there as an expectation. Now, I expect you to do something, you're not doing it for me. Some people may say, I'm in love. What does that mean? That means they feel overwhelming attraction towards another person. So love can refer to an expectation to be loved. Love can refer to an attraction. Love beyond all this also refers to an intention. That generally people, they fall in love. The faster they fall in love, that much fast they also fall out of love. Why? Because that attraction itself may be there, but the nature of the mind is it is fickle. The same two people who say one day, I can't live without you. After a few months, they say, I can't live with you. So if we stick to love simply as an emotion of attraction, then it is not sustainable. What we need is love as an intention. That means that attraction may be there. If it is there, it is good. But sooner or later, the mind is such that it will become fickle and will not feel attracted. At that time, love has to be as an intention. I offer love. I act in a mood of love. I act. How does love mean? Love practically means service. We do something practically to help, to assist, aid, to express our care for the other person. So when we feel disconnected from love, it may be that the other person is not doing what we expected them to do. So you don't love me. It may be that we felt attraction towards someone, we're not feeling that attraction now. So these love as expectation or attraction is not in our control. But love as intention, love as action, these are always in our control. And of course, we have a human need for reciprocation. We can't simply keep acting lovingly if the other person is not reciprocating. So when we feel disconnected, at that time we have to focus on love as the intention and action. And as I said, we have a vertical relationship with Krishna and we have horizontal relationship with others. So if we focus on this vertical relationship, when we feel disconnected from love, come to the temple, participate in some musical meditation, some kirtans, pray to the deities, hear some spiritual wisdom, and we will start feeling better. We start feeling better because we are coming in the presence of the Supreme Love. So just coming to a place where spiritual love is being discussed and relished, that is love as intention. I express my intention through the action of coming here. And then when we do that, we start experiencing some joy, some comfort. And that comfort is actually the infinite's reciprocation with us. We may not see spiritual reality right now because we are not at a spiritual level of consciousness. But spiritual reality can be felt as the relief, as the shelter, as the joy that we experience within. And when a baby is very small, the baby doesn't even know that there is someone called my mother. The baby just feels, oh, there's a nice soft object from me, something nice, sweet comes. And just chews and drinks it. And as the baby grows up, you think, oh, there's a person over there and she loves me. Suppose that baby is sleeping at night and feels cold. The mother sees the cold and the mother puts a comforter around it. Now the baby's eyes are closed and the baby doesn't know. The baby doesn't consciously see that my mother has come and put the blanket around me. But what the baby feels is comfort, warmth. Earlier she was shivering, now the baby feels comfort. Similarly for us, we are in a spiritually sleeping state right now. But when we come in the presence of Krishna, we hear the kirtan, we hear the message of Krishna. Our mind will be agitated by this, that, so many problems. We just come in the spiritual presence, we will feel relief. It's as if a blanket is pulled around us. We feel comfort. And this comfort, this relief is actually God's love being experienced by us at present. And as we grow up spiritually, as we wake up, we'll start perceiving that love more and more also. So, yes, feeling a disconnection from love is a state that we may all go through. And if our love is directed only at the horizontal level, I'm this person, nobody cares for me, nobody loves me, we feel like that, then there is God who always cares for us. And if we try to connect with Him, we come in His presence, we invoke His presence, then we start feeling comfort and relief. And that's how we'll again start feeling lovingly connected. Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you for the class. And I would like to know when we are with person who have a negative thoughts, for the moment they are a bit to suffer mentally by the same pattern. What is the beginning for the Krishna, thank you for the class. What is the way to give the Bhagavad-gita people who are in a materialistic mind and believe in them inner voice with negative
Okay.
or the
So-
detachment?
Okay, so if somebody is believing in the voice in the head and they are materialistic, and how can we give the spiritual knowledge of the Gita to them? Yes, actually, even people who claim to be materialistic are not actually materialistic. What do I mean by that? Even Albert Einstein was the biggest, one of the brightest scientists of the last century or all of history also. And he recognized that if we believe completely in materialism, the implication would be that we don't have any free will. Now, if I take this phone and I drop it, I won't drop it. But if I drop it, it doesn't have any free will whether to fall or not fall. It is going to fall. So Einstein is attributed to have said famously that gravity can explain the falling of objects, but it cannot explain people's falling in love. So actually, he recognized that if we said that everything is simply materialistic, then that would mean the Nazis who killed millions of Jews, they are not responsible for their actions, because that's how their brain told them to act, and they acted. Now, if I come and slap one of you, hey, why do you slap me? It's okay, my brain told me to slap you. The neuron particles in my brain, I'm controlled by them. I have no free will. They made me slap you. And you will say, my neurons are telling me to slap you. And you will slap me back. So basically, nobody acts in a way as pure materialists. And the very fact that we feel this voice inside us, and what is that voice? That indicates that there's something more than matter. There is something beyond physical reality. As if I have a computer, in the computer there's a hardware, there's the software, and there's the user. So the body is like the hardware, the mind is like the software, and the soul is the user. So in today's society, we have worked fantastically to improve the hardware. But unfortunately, the software is corrupted by viruses. And we're just thinking, oh, the software is corrupted, get a new computer or get a better hardware. But still, software keeps getting corrupted. So basically, this voice inside the head, how do we counter it? The Bhagavad-gita explains that if we as souls are here, the mind is here. But here, there is inside another voice, that is the voice of God. That is the voice of Krishna. So the more we try to connect with Krishna, the more we tune into Krishna. So hearing Krishna's message in the Gita, studying the philosophy, chanting the mantras about Krishna, all these, we tune into Krishna's voice. And the more we tune into Krishna's voice, then whatever this mind is saying, slowly it starts getting silenced. Slowly it starts getting silent. So we can't silence the negative voice in the mind, negative voice inside the head. But what we can do is, if we have someone else to hear, someone else to engage with. So imagine if we are in a room and there's only one, the room is silent except for one person who is speaking something. Now we can't not hear. In our eyes, we can close our eyes, but ears, we can't close our ears. We try to plug them, but suppose there's no plug available out there. So if that person is speaking, we can't stop them. But if somebody else is there in the room and we start talking with them, now this person is still speaking and that will distract. But as we get involved in a discussion, start talking, oh, you just we get engaged, then this person will go into the background. And after some time, this other person sees that this person is not listening to me only. They'll stop speaking. So similarly, the negative voice inside our head, we can't silence it, but we can turn away from it. If we try to shut up, actually if we try to make it shut up, it will speak louder. It will speak louder. We can't silence it. but we can transcend it. We can turn away from it and go beyond it. So we have the mind, which is like an inner enemy inside us, but we have also Krishna, who is the supreme friend inside us. And to the extent we get connected with Krishna, to the extent we become shielded from the negative voice inside our head. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Yes, please.
Jai Shri Krishna. And thanks for this discourse on purpose of life. I've been actually thinking about the same question for some time. So I have twofold question, in fact. That is the purpose of life quantifiable, and is it really correct to quantify the purpose of life? The reason I ask is the things that we do in our daily life, which we consider quantifiable, is like a moving goalpost. We just we think of achieving one thing, we achieve that, we move on to the next and next and next. This goes on forever, right? At least that's what I've seen so far. I've lived. So that's my question: is the purpose of life quantifiable?
So is the purpose of life quantifiable? We set purposes, but they're like moving goalposts. Now I decide I want to crack this, I want to pass this exam, get this degree, but then some other goal comes up. Yes, that's true. I would say what you're talking about is not quantifiable. Quantifiable means you put a quantity or a number to it. What you're asking is that the purpose of life is tangible. No, it is. So yes, when I said love is the purpose of life, to love Krishna and to love everyone in relationship with Krishna. Love is as much a direction as it is a destination. Love is an endless flow of the heart. It is something which never stops. So that means whenever we set goals in our life, if we achieve a goal, then after that we feel, okay, what next? Our life feels purposeless till we set up another goal for ourselves. And if we don't achieve a goal, then we feel defeated. So both ways, when we try to set up some goals in this world for us, then there is frustration if we don't achieve it, and there is an anticlimax if we achieve it, because the goal doesn't really fulfill us, and then we don't know what to do next. But when we see love, it is an ongoing process, and it is an eternal emotion. It is an eternal reciprocation, and in that sense, it is tangible. It is specific, but it is not limited to tangible and specific things. Say your mother, my mother, she loved me. Now, if I want to put a quantity on love, can we do that? We can't. Nowadays, there is so much anxiety when we try to form relationship with others. With all our scientific technology, can we have something like we have a thermometer, we have can we have a love-o-meter? If we want to develop a relationship, put a love-o-meter in their heart. Do they really love me? We can't do that. Love can't be quantified. But just because it can't be quantified doesn't mean it is not real. It is real. It is an experience of the heart. So similarly, love, when we make it as the purpose of our life, that means we will set up certain goals. Okay, I would like to do this, and I would like to express my devotion through this. But if that doesn't work out, it's okay. It is not the end of the world. One of the most well-known and possibly least understood verses of the Bhagavad-gita is Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Krishna says, work but be detached from the results. So as in America, and one student was asking, is a religious studies student, he said that this just doesn't make any sense. We work for the results. So be detached from the results, then how do you work? It's like drinking from an empty glass. What is the point of drinking? So the point over there is, when Krishna is saying, be detached from the results, he's not saying be detached from goals. Arjuna would set goals in the Kurukshetra war. So goals are what we set before we do the work. And that inspires us to do the work wholeheartedly. But results are what come after the work is done. And the results are not always in our hands. We may study very well, but if in a competitive exam others do better than us, then we may not get the desired result. So if we get too fixated with the external goal, this is what I want to achieve, sometimes we may not get it also, and that will frustrate us. Despite our best effort, we may not get it. So what the Gita is saying is that through our work, we are meant to offer our heart to Krishna. So if the result comes, we would like to offer the result to Krishna also. But the important thing is to offer our heart to Krishna through our endeavor. And this makes Krishna supremely fair. The world often is unfair because the world judges us not by our endeavors, but by the results. No, a student may work very hard for an exam, but just before that exam, they fall sick. From the world's point of view, they just failed. They didn't pass the exam. So sometimes, despite our best endeavors, we may not get the results because of factors beyond our control. And all our endeavor may seem worthless. But when we are trying to serve Krishna, our endeavor itself is appreciated. Krishna sees our endeavor and he rewards us for that endeavor. So when we see love as the purpose of life, then no matter what circumstances come, what results come, they come, they don't come, we can still keep offering our love towards Krishna. We can still keep moving towards Krishna. So in that sense, love is not quantifiable, but it is real. It is real and it is invaluable in empowering us to move forward through and beyond life's ups and downs. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Itai Gaur Premanande.
Chaitanya Charan Prabhu ki. Hare Krishna, everyone. Nice to be with you all again. Thank you all for coming today.